Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Greene. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Greene is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview Sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
Why do so many businesses struggle while others seem to explode overnight? Do you wish you had the secret to this type of exponential growth? Now, I've scaled more than 20 businesses to over $100 million, and it's not just luck. In my new book with Mark Tim, Mentor to Millions, you'll learn the repeatable framework I use in all my business ventures for massive success. Order at kevinmentor.com and get over $1,000 in bonuses. Head to kevinmentor.com.
Welcome to the podcast. This is your host, Seth Greene. Today, I've got the good fortune to be joined by Hemant Varshney, founder and CEO of DigiCom.io, a award-winning growth agency. We're going to talk about how it got started and the amazing things he's up to now in just a second. Hemant, thanks so much for joining us.
Dad, thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be here today.
Our pleasure. Let's go back in time a little bit. How'd you get started?
That's a great question. If we go way back, I've said this a bunch of times. I started off with YouTube University. Watched a bunch of videos on how to run Google Ads about 14 years ago, built a couple websites, started driving some traffic, and really the rest is history.
Well, I'm sure the longer version of that story could probably fill a book somewhere if it hasn't already. So talk a little bit about what DigiCom does now.
Yeah, so we run growth marketing. A lot of it, Seth, as you're already familiar, a lot of it is direct response. It's all customer acquisition. Our team essentially helps our clients with their budgeting and planning. We develop their creative assets, then help with CRO, and then go out and buy media. So everything we're doing is, it's all based off of data. It's all in the numbers.
Okay. Who is an ideal client for you?
Sure. We typically work with a lot of venture-backed clients that have raised around $2 million pre-Series B. That's usually our sweet spot. But then also in terms of private companies, the private companies we're working with are doing $2 to $3 million in revenue plus a year. And our goal is to scale them, right? It's to scale revenue, it's to scale acquisition, and do it profitably.
For sure. So I know you've got shoeboxes full of case studies. Can you give an example or two of one of those companies, what they came to you for, what you're able to do for them, and then kind of that magical transformation you were able to engineer because of the marketing?
Sure. So we worked with a beauty company. They're called OneSkin, and essentially they came to us with not super high budgets at the time, and what we were able to do is develop a creatives for them across a number of different platforms, set them up on Google, run the Meta platform, and in about a year and a half we 10x'd what we were spending. But in terms of revenue, just because we're under NDAs, I can't really speak about revenue, but revenue grew by more than 10x, which is pretty incredible. Another company we worked with, Mystery Vibe, they are a health and wellness, really sexual wellness company. They came to us around June of 22. And we went from sub 10K budgets to spending over a couple $100,000 in about 6 months, and really scale their business. So there's a lot of art and science that goes into marketing. What I've tried to build out at DigiCom, we're all basically quant nerds, right? So we love the data. We love looking at path to conversion? What is how can we get users to convert? What other channels can we build out? How do we do things offline? We provide the support around all of that, but there's an art part to it too, right? So developing the right creative, understanding the messaging. And so what has helped us drive this scale that we have for a lot of the partners we've worked with is we marry the art and science.
That's awesome. So with all of the changes going on in the digital marketing world, on a minute by minute basis, how do you stay on top of all of that?
Sure. We're always learning and trying to get into betas to run different tests on different platforms. If a new platform's coming out, it's important to just understand how these platforms work. These algorithms change really quickly, right? I think the rise of TikTok really speaks volumes, because if you look at TikTok early 2022, their pixels weren't working that well. There was only a limited amount of things you could do on the platform. And today, it's a juggernaut. It's the fastest growing social media platform. And it's competing with Facebook and really taking a lot of marketing dollars away. So it's being up to date, understanding what's going on. We're constantly writing about marketing. We're constantly running case studies. This industry moves fast, and so you have to be fast with it.
100% agree with you there. Where do you get your inspiration from?
Inspiration, I think a lot of it is it has to be discipline, right? It's what do we want to do for the business? And in 2022, DigiCom managed 10 million in media. We want to get to a place where we're managing $100 million in media. So that's the goal, and want to do that in a 5-year time period. And so all the goals kind of ladder up, like what are we testing? What are we doing? And, what did we learn? Also, I would like to call out that, when you work with really good partners, you meet inspiring leaders that are testing new things or have different ways of teaching new things, because we learn things from our clients all the time. And, that is pretty inspirational, because taking a company from 0 to 1 million and then 1 million to 5 and then 5, to 10, 15, 20, like your business, as it's alive and breathing, and it's always changing. There are a lot of different things happening. Plus there's macro level factors that can impact different businesses. So I think just being curious, continuously learning, being disciplined about what we need to do. All of those things inspire me.
What inspired you to start the podcast, the weekly growth marketing show?
Yeah. So what we kind of learned is, as we're speaking to a lot of new partners, we're oftentimes auditing a lot of the work they're doing. And I've found that there are certain, I don't like to use best practices, because like best practices, one size fits all, and every business is so different. But there's certain setup or certain strategies that I think marketers, as they're learning about different strategies, can do a better job with. And so the goal is, just like how I'm consistently consuming content to get better, it's to put some content out there to help marketers get better.
You've built an incredible team. How are you hiring, recruiting, training, and creating culture in today's environment?
So recruiting, I've loved using LinkedIn. LinkedIn it's really helped me a lot. And I know there are other tools out there, but essentially it's helped me vet a lot of colleagues that have the skill set we're looking for. So that's the tool I like to leverage. And then we also have a rule at DigiCom. So 4 people interviewed the potential candidate, and all 4 people have to unanimously say yes, including me, right? So and that kind of helps us bring on the right talent that fits into our culture. Our culture is a lot about teaching. It's a lot about learning. I like to think that we're building a community. When anybody starts on day one, I understand that they may not be with DigiCom forever. So one thing I always mention to them is my goal is to arm you with the skill set. So if you want to go out and run your own business one day, I hope I'm able to do that and provide you with the knowledge that I can, part with you. Yeah.
That's a wonderful attitude to have. So you've achieved so much success, not only for DigiCom, obviously, but more importantly for your clients. What's your biggest challenge now?
Biggest challenge. So right now, macro factors, it's impacting a lot of the types of clients we're working with, right? So when I say that, I specifically mean that all these VC-backed companies, if they're going out trying to raise, everything used to be a model of grow at all costs. And now we're starting to see what is the road to profitability. And how that impacts a lot of businesses, like what is your cash runway? When do you need to do your next raise? I think that for the listeners out there, it's very important to have road to profitability built in early into the business versus raise, look for a bridge, maybe do some debt financing. And it's very difficult, right? It also depends on the type of business, because sometimes you need inventory, other times you need engineering. But I think breaking down your unit and service economics, it's super important. Understand your numbers, and then build a plan that gets you to, profitability.
That makes a lot of sense. Your passion is obvious. What do you like best about what you're doing now?
I think my favorite thing is that everything's a puzzle. And so we're always constantly solving new challenges, whether it's for the partners we work with, whether it's internally. Things are changing. There's a lot to learn. And I think that if, you're not coming into digital with this learn, evolve, adapt kind of mindset, you kind of get left behind. And so, I would say that's it.
That makes a lot of sense. For our folks who are watching and listening, where is the best place for them to learn more about you?
Sure. Come check us out at digicom.io. Happy to connect. My email's hemant@digicom.io, and, would love to chat some growth.
Absolutely. How are those ideal clients finding you?
Ideal clients are finding us. A lot of it is through, some of it is through our podcast, some through newsletters, LinkedIn. We do outreach campaigns, for more brand visibility. We'll be at Grow LA next week, actually, on February 23rd. So, doing conferences, going out, meeting people, being a part of the growth community.
All right. Well, we greatly appreciate your time. This has been Seth Greene with Hemant Varshney of digicom.io. Make sure you check them out along with the Weekly Growth Marketing Podcast. Hemant, thanks again.
Seth, thank you for having me.
Thanks, everybody, for watching or listening. We will talk to you or see you next time.
Do you need money to fund your idea, product, or service? Are you ready to take your business to the next level but need capital to get it done? Kevin Harrington has heard more than 50,000 pitches and knows how to help you make the perfect pitch to get the funding for your entrepreneurial dream. He's distilled the process down in his perfect pitch cheat sheet, and it's yours for free. Just text PITCH to him right now at 727-888-2100. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 right now and claim your free perfect pitch cheat sheet. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 to start funding your dream today.
This show has been produced by Market Domination, LLC. To discover how you can have your own show completely done for you and turn it into a real published book and become the authority in your marketplace, go to www.marketdominationllc.com/podcast offer.